Every year, Juneau attracts about 1 million tourists, which is a major part of our economy. At the same time, tourism contributes heavily to our carbon footprint. What are some solutions to this double-edged sword?
Well, that's a new question. Sorry for the pause there. We do need to remember that the tourism does contribute heavily. However, they need to pay their own way. If they are using our resources, we can't just give it to them. But we also have to remember the economic impact that the tourism industry has here, providing jobs. My own husband, he works in the tourism industry part-time during the summer, and it helps our family a lot. But we do need to keep the air clean and the water clean and our electricity clean. So, you know, as far as selling them electricity, our own needs need to come first.
Joshua, the same question.
Okay. It is definitely, tourism has its costs in the city, but it also is a major source of revenue. On the carbon footprint side, I'd say that we need to continue to expand our power resources, because one of the major ways to reduce the carbon footprint of the cruise ship is to give them the power. If they're shut off from Juneau City Power, that's when they turn on their own engines to fuel all their lights and everything else on the ship. So if attached to Juneau Power, they're gonna have a lot less of a carbon footprint. I also think that we need to stop being held somewhat hostage by the cruise ships. Right now, especially in our water resources, it costs us a little over $3 to make 1,000 gallons of water in this town, and we charge the cruise ships 76 cents for the same 1,000 gallons of water. So I think while it's an important part of the economy, and I think there should be some subsidized to keep them there, I think we need to make sure they pay more of what they're taking the city.
I agree that we should provide the power to the cruise ships. I think that in itself, coming from a marine background, definitely lower carbon footprint. Diesel engines aren't on, the auxiliaries aren't on, we're providing the power to them that substantially lower our carbon footprint. We could also wouldn't pass on any more to the tourist as far as additional cost or anything like that. Maintaining a balance doing something like that. Thank you.
The next question is to all area-wide candidates. We'll start with Tony Yorba. Tourism aside, what should the city do to curb its greenhouse gas emissions?
Well, JEDC has come up with a plan, and Brian, you could probably help me out with the name of that plan, but essentially making Juneau the center for electric vehicles. The most electric vehicles per population, per capita in the United States. I mean, that's a pretty significant deal right there. Beyond that, of course, the solving our landfill issues, it would be a huge plus for the community. We have a liability out there with the landfill. It's an old model, and I think we can do a lot better. I really applaud the borough for stepping out and doing the recycling. I didn't think that curbside recycling thing was going to work, but it's been marvelous. It's really reduced the amount of material going to the landfill. And so I think those are sort of reachable goals that we could make as a community of this size.
Laura, the same question?
Oh, thanks. In regards to reducing the emissions, you know, one step that I took at home is that I replaced my old forced air furnace, which was fueled by heating fuel, with an air source heat pump. And the air source heat pump is great because it's 250% efficient, whereas my old oil-fired air force furnace was about 78% efficient. So that's the first step that I took at home, but also encouraging the same technology in other people's homes and other commercial buildings to reduce our use of petroleum. You know, in the event of a crisis, you know, Juneau is going to be one of the first communities to get hit pretty hard with getting cut off from heating fuel. We need to make sure that we are, you know, independent and utilize the resources we have available.
I worked on the first greenhouse gas emissions inventory that the city did. And so I'm well aware that one of the big sources for the city itself is its buildings. So its buildings need to be insulated, to use less energy and upgraded when possible. Of course, electric vehicles, the city has a lot of vehicles that it could use, that would be a great thing if that technology advances. So, using less energy will reduce the city government's greenhouse gases quite a bit.